People connect to people first before they connect to your product. Anybody can sell a product. You can come here and say, oh, there's this shoe, buy the shoe. That's all. I will buy the shoe and I'll forget about you.
Yeah.
But if you want me to keep coming back, if you want a brand personality, if you say, oh, my name is Uju, and I started this business 10 years ago, and my brand is all about quality, I'm going to be attached to your brand. And guess what? I'm going to follow you. And if you have another release, I'm going to buy that.
Founder-led brands are not hiding behind corporate curtains. They are standing in the light, visible, vocal, vulnerable. Because today, people don't just buy products. They buy conviction, they buy clarity, they buy the human heartbeat behind the headlines. When a founder shows up consistently and intentionally, visibility becomes authority. PR becomes reputation, capital, positioning becomes power. The timeline becomes a stage, interviews become trust deposits. Every story told becomes strategic architecture. And in that visibility, something powerful happens. A brand stops feeling manufactured and starts feeling lived. This is why founder-led brands are winning, not by accident, but by design, by turning presence into influence, story into strategy, and identity into undeniable market position. This is Just Africa on Soap News Television, and I am Omevi Idolo. So our conversation today focuses on why founder-led brands are winning, the power of visibility, PR, and strategic positioning. Our guest, Keren, she is the founder of the Keren Uzo brand. She is a growth and PR strategist, producer, writer, and personal brand coach. She sits at the center of solving this challenge. Through the Keren Uzo brand, she works directly with founders and leadership teams to design go-to-market strategies, build personal brands, and execute PR-led growth campaigns that convert attention into credibility and revenue. Her experience across tech, healthcare, and emerging markets gives her a unique execution-level perspective on how African founders can position themselves and their companies to compete globally. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Keren with me in the studio. Hello, Keren.
Thank you, even though you murdered my name.
Oh my God.
My name is Keren.
Keren
with the E, but I mean, you're forgiving me. Lots of people call it Keren.
Oh.
So it's Keren, the Keren Uzo brand.
Okay, Keren Uzo.
Yes.
Okay, so how was getting to the studio?
Fine. I'm happy. Everyone here has been so warm and kind.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be here. And I'm excited about the topic too. Something I'm very passionate about. So.
Yes, it's something that one should actually, if you're a brand owner, you should be passionate about this conversation. And of course, you should involve everyone around you to learn something from Keren, who will be taking us through her journey. So, for a start, what makes a founder's presence more important than just going out and doing the usual campaign?
So people connect to people before they connect to products. That's very important. You need to understand that.
People connect to people
yes,
before they connect to the brand.
Products. Exactly.
Okay, to the products.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. Moabudo. When you say Ebony Life, the first name that comes to your mind, Moabudo.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, one thing that has stood out for Moabudo is her brand, who she has been for the past 20 years. How she mentioned that she started the industry at the age of 40, and then look at all the things that she has built in the space of 20 years. So if you're talking about Ebony Life, the first person that comes to mind, Moabudo. So people connect to people first before they connect to your product. There are so many times that people would buy a product or would attach themselves to a product because of the person. I'll give you another example. 1 acre wig. There was a time that 1 acre wig was a big deal. Why were people buying 1 acre wig? It wasn't because she was selling the best wigs, but because she had a story that a lot of housewives could connect to. She was married to a white man. She was sharing her story. So people first connect to people before they connect to your brand.
Okay, what if the people, or should I say the consumers now, do not know the person behind the brand or behind the product? And at some point, they still choose to connect somehow, some way. What happened there?
Okay, so there's a difference. So if you're selling something like a Dangote now, before we ever put a face behind the name, you're selling sugar, or selling flour, or selling cement. Those are things, consumables. Those are things that we know that we need. So, but at the end of the day, if you watch what brands do, when Apple came back, Steve Jobs was the face behind Apple. So they always, it depends on the kind of products that you are selling at the end of the day. But if you want for scalability, if you want to build a brand, you can be selling a product. People will buy your product. But if you want to build a brand, there has to be a personality attached to that brand. It can be you, it can be a brand ambassador, there has to be a voice. So there's a difference between selling a product and building a brand. You can't sell a product. That's the difference. That's the answer to your question. You can sell a product. Anybody can sell a product. You can come here and say, oh, there's this shoe, buy the shoe. That's all. I will buy the shoe and I'll forget about you. But if you want me to keep coming back, if you want a brand personality, if you say, oh, my name is Uju, and, I started this business 10 years ago, and, my brand is all about quality, I'm going to be attached to your brand. And guess what? I'm going to follow you. And if you have another release, I'm going to buy that release.
So which means there's a lot for founders to do when it comes to brand building.
Yes.
So can you take us through some of those things that a founder should actually look out for so that they can scale up, they can build their brand, not just selling the product? What are some of those things you think they do? Because you are there now, you always relate with them. So what do you tell them that as a founder, this is what you should do for you to be able to scale your business?
Okay, so first of all, as a founder, awareness is very important. A lot of founders want to skip awareness. And I say it all the time because they don't want to spend money. So, branding and marketing kind of work hand in hand. And a lot of the time, founders interpret marketing as sales. Marketing is not sales. Marketing is awareness. Marketing is storytelling. So as a founder, you need to know that there has to be a place for awareness. You are not just spending money because you want to get investment immediately. Then you have to build a strong story that is in alignment with where your brand is going. I'll give you an example, Tonelu Melo. If you talk about UBA today, the first name that comes to mind is Tonelu Melo. He's not the owner of UBA. UBA existed before he existed as a brand. But the moment he was able to build a brand and attach it to UBA, you see that there's a sense of ownership. When people want to go to UBA, they feel like they're going to Tonelu. So it's very important that you build a story around your brand. That story must be in alignment with your business goals. What are your business goals? There's a client of mine that's trying to expand to the US, right? So whenever I'm telling his story, I'm talking about the US expansion, some of the things that he has done for the US expansion, some of the partnerships that he has made. So I said, number one, awareness. You cannot skip awareness. Most founders want to do sell. I want to buy. I want people to buy my product. You spend 5 naira, you want to get 5,000 naira investment. So you cannot skip awareness. Then your story must be consistent and must be standard. It has to be also in alignment with your business goals. So those things you cannot skip. Before we now, cascade it down to social media and all of those things.
So what if a founder is not doing all that? What are some of the pitfalls or the challenges that the founder is likely going to face if they do not listen to people like
I hear, I coach founders, and a lot of them say, I'm shy, I don't want my face behind my brand. There's a lot of I coach a lot of, I'm shy, I don't want my face behind my brand, I don't want this, I just want to be doing the work. Okay, good, do the work. But you see that your peers are getting ahead of you when you don't. So even if you cannot, some founders don't want to be the face. But you need to get a face for your brand. You need to get Odunayo, the Piggyverse lady. She's not the only founder, but she's the face of the brand. She's the one that a lot of people connect to. So you need to, a lot of brands, what they do now, they get brand ambassador. Darling, they get brand ambassadors. So if you cannot do that, either you get your employees to be the face of the brand, or you get somebody specifically to be the face. Because if you do not do that, what that does is that it limits you. By the time you're going, I always tell my clients, when you're talking to investors and you're talking about your brand, the first thing they do is they Google you. When they're not seeing anything credible about the founder, then you've already lost 5 points. Because you can tell them my product is so amazing, my product is but when they are not seeing anything Googleable, like they're not seeing any passion project, anything that talks about, because it's not about just selling a product.
Yeah.
You're selling a vision. If you can, I tell founders, if you can attach it to the point where you are selling a vision. There's one of my clients that she wanted to start an adire business. I said, okay, why do you want to start an adire business?
Yeah.
She said, well, she likes adire prints. I said, you need to connect it to something. There has to be a love for culture,
Yeah.
a love for experiences, a love for something. It has to be connected to a higher purpose. And then when you're now, it helps cascade your business.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're not just selling Ankara, you can do charity.
Yeah.
You can do charity, and then you're selling Ankara for charity. There's a lot you can do. You can expand your brand.
Yes, you're talking about brands.
Yes.
How they can scale, how they can do it, the face behind the brand and all that. It's beautiful. Now tell us, what's the story behind your own brand?
Okay, there's a lot.
Okay.
But the Keren Uzo brand, I decided to make it a self-named brand. The reason is because I've built a lot around myself, my brand as a person. I've been very vocal about my brand for 10 years. So there are people who have followed my journey. There are people who trust me. Who, when you just mentioned the name Keren, I know her. Okay, yes, no problem. Yeah, you're a partner. There's that consistency.
Yeah.
Uzo, Keren is an English name. But
Yeah.
Uzo brings it down to Nigeria.
Yeah.
So whenever you hear Keren Uzo, you know that
She's a
she's a
Nigerian.
Nigerian. So a lot of the things I've done writing, I'm an author, I'm an actor, I'm a producer. A lot of the things is tied around my brand. The reason why I did it this way is because tomorrow I can say I want to sell panties.
Yeah.
And because it is attached to the Keren Uzo brand, you
wanna
it.
buy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just basically the story behind the brand. Everything that my brand encompasses is empowerment. Empowerment for young people,
Okay.
healing, living a better life, and personal branding.
Okay.
And I say that a lot because when I got into the corporate space, because I started for 5 years in the creative space, and then 5 years after I got into the corporate space, one of the things that helped me scale, the places I got to in less than 5 years that other people would have taken 10 years, because I was able to position myself strategically. I was able to be confident enough to sell myself to get to where I've got to.
Were there times that you were so scared of this brand?
Of
That you
course.
were afraid?
Of course.
Imposters. Someone might take the day. Those many fears. Were there a time? So how were you able to overcome those fears?
I mean, you fake it till you make it. That's what I always say. You fake it till you make it. I wasn't always confident.
Okay.
I wasn't. I know I worked in a place where, I mean, no shades to her. She's an older generation. And, I would sing my trumpet all the time. There's a lady I follow on Instagram. She used to be the head of marketing for Netflix and Apple. Her name is Bozoma St. John. She calls herself Badass Boz. How did I get to know her? She did an interview where she was talking about all the things that she has done in Netflix, all the things she has done in Apple, all the things she has done, and I'm like, I didn't even know that all of these things existed. What am I saying? You have to sing your praises. It's very important. I remember then I was in a board meeting and my boss then, she was saying it's not about singing your praises, it's not about talking, it's not about... But then the fact that they were not getting me promoted in the office, I was getting a lot of awareness in the group.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about the things that I was doing. So, and I think this is one of the things that affects founders. You don't want to blow your trumpets. Nobody will tell your story for you.
But some persons see it as how do I put it? They say, will you blow your trumpet? They feel you being proud.
Yeah, that's
they
what...
feel you are describing yourself more than you are. You are trying to feel more than you are.
Yeah.
So how do you marry this? You have to blow your trumpet so people know you at the same time not being proud.
Yeah.
How do you marry that?
Okay, so that's what a lot of people are scared of, sounding proud. But when you're telling fact, there's no pride in fact. I did a campaign. I got over $3 million. What's the pride there? I did it. I worked with my team. Together with my team, we did this, we did that. Because you have to tell your story. If not, people will tell your stories for you. And when people tell your stories for you, they're going to choose to. They're going to choose to. So you have to state fact. We did, and nobody is carrying phone everywhere to look at what you're doing. You're the one that will say what you did. Oh, today we did it. I remember I worked in a company and I was just the social media manager at that time. So my boss left. And then they, made me event planner, event manager. And for that event, I spent over 1 million naira and I made sales of 6 million naira in one day.
Oh.
I spoke about it because I was just a social media man.
That was a success.
Guess what? That particular campaign got me a better job.
Whoa.
So imagine I was feigning humility and saying, I'm trying to be humble. They didn't pay me for it, but I was able to leverage off that experience. So it's very important as founders that we sing our praises, not pride, not saying, don't say things that are not. Don't boast.
Okay, so what's the difference between positioning and visibility?
Visibility. Right positioning gives you the right visibility.
Okay.
Yes. So positioning, for example, now I'm here. Why did I come here? Because I was able to position my brand in a way that made me of value to you. Visibility, you can just be posting. And I always tell my clients, it's not about just posting on social media, being everywhere. You have to be very strategic. That's the position. You have to be very strategic. First of all, you have to understand, what's my business goal? This is where I want to go to, right? Okay. How can I, as the founder or as the face of the brand, get my business to this place? It's not just by social media. I always say that the way you see me now, the experience you have of me, when you go to my social media, there is a correlation.
Yeah.
When you see me in person, I am enigmatic, I am beautiful, I'm eloquent, I'm all of these things. When you talk to me, I talk about branding so passionately that when you go to my social media, you see the exact same thing. So, and then I don't go everywhere. I only go to places that I need to be in. That's it. So as a brand builder, you need to be very strategic about the places that you go to.
But how can they know the right places to go? Because some places, just as you said, you really don't have to be everywhere. But how would they know that, okay, this is the right place for me to be?
Yeah.
How would they know?
It's research, strategy and research. So you, like I said, it's very important to know what you are going for, your plan. When you go, you know your plan, okay, where are the places I can find these people that I need for my business?
Yeah.
Is it events? Is it corporate events? Now I'm fully in Nollywood. I'm going for Nollywood events. And I'm not just going for any Nollywood events. I'm going for fun events. Because I realize that all of those, standoffish events, people just go there and exchange cards.
Yeah.
But when you go for fun event, there's a more relaxed setting around that. You can strike a conversation. I just produced my first film. A lot of the people that work with me, we collaborated. Why did that happen? Because I decided, okay, now that I am going into Nollywood full time, I need to go to film school. Yeah. What film school would I go to that would give me the traction I need? I chose the film school that had the traction that I needed. I paid a lot of money, but I went there. Guess what? 2 months after that, I'm producing my first film.
Wow.
And I spent money, of course, but I didn't pay the director, for instance. I didn't pay the DOP, for instance. I know how much I would have paid if I had to pay them.
Yeah.
But because I had strategically positioned myself to be in their space, it was easy for me to sell what I'm selling. I said, guys, I have this dream, I have this vision. Let's do this together. Positioning.
Wow, the right positioning.
Right positioning.
That's a beautiful one, Karen. And, talking about it, it's already inspiring someone out there to say, yes, if Karen can do it, then I can do it as well. That's a beautiful one. We're saying something behind the camera. You said, most times people often look out for money. The money is not the first thing. So what should be the first thing then?
Value. What value are you offering? What's your value proposition? What value can you get from a person? A lot of the times, people look out for money. You want money instantly. You're going to an event, you're going to pitch your brand. You want money, value. And people always see network sideways. When they say network sideways, what do they mean? Look for value. So somebody that, I gave you an example of how I just produced my first film.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that worked on it, I didn't have to pay them. Even though I still spent a lot of money, I would have spent more. Value is the first thing you should look out for. When I'm going for an event, first of all, I curate the places I go to. I don't just go to anywhere. And I try as much as possible to ensure that the places I go to are paid for events. And there's an amount of money that I would pay. Okay. I would say, okay, I know the kind of people that would pay for this event have certain things to offer me. And when I'm going there, I'm not looking for your money. How can we rub off each other? How can we be valuable to each other? How can I be valuable to you? And how can you be valuable to me? A lot of the times, I started this IG life where I would bring people on my show to talk about, anything, personal branding, my book, whatever it is. And I realized that has given me more traction than I would have if I was asking money from that person. So value is very, very important. When you're building your brand, when you're growing your brand, you need to understand, what value do I offer to people? What value people pay for value.
Yeah.
The reason why people pay me as a personal branding coach to lecture them is because I offer value. And that's what I put out first. My value, what I would give to you as a founder, what you would get from me as a founder, and what I can get from you. That's how I have been able to grow in my money will come. Once you have value, money will come. But that value is what helps. A lot of the mistakes that people make is because you're looking for $10. You want $10 money. Network sideways. There are people within your circle that you guys can come together and build stuff. I was telling someone reached out to me and was saying he's building a company, he's been doing it all alone, he needs sponsors. I say you don't need sponsors, you need your friends. One of your friends there is head of HR in his company. Let him come and be head of HR. Give him a stake in your business. One of your friends is head of accountant in a company. Let him come and be an accountant for you. Give him a stake in your business. I'm in marketing and PR. Give me a stake in your business. I will do marketing and PR for you. You have a complete board of trustees or board of directors. We can come together with our resources and build something substantial, and we can get the income, the money we need. But people don't think that way.
Yeah, most founders don't really think that way. Now, the question is, what are some of those common mistakes, easy mistakes that founders make? Because you just mentioned one, and they don't think in that. No, you used the word networking
sideways.
Networking sideways. So some don't network that way. Yeah. They want to network with people that they think have the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what are other mistakes that founders are making right now?
They don't do awareness. They skip awareness. They want instant gratification. I've been doing awareness for years, and you know the funny thing, awareness pays off more than when you're looking for instant conversion. So most times, if a founder has 100K and he says, I want to put my brand out there, I want to do PR, I want to do this, they're expecting, when I'm telling a founder, I'm saying you need to do PR, you need to put yourself out. They're saying, okay, what will I get instantly in return? You're not getting an instant return. The thing about awareness is that it can pay you off 5 years from now. There are things that I have done 5 years ago that is paying off now. Because I was not looking for the money instantly. So that's the mistake that a lot of people make. They skip the awareness phase.
But most founders will tell you that I have been putting in money, I have been pumping money, I have been, you know what I'm talking about. So, truth be told, when you're not making profits, there is a high level of discouragement. So when someone keeps putting in money, and the person is, at some point, the person is also creating awareness.
Yeah.
And the person is not making profit. Well, the person keep going.
Is your storytelling structured? That's another thing. Posting every day is not the same thing as structured storytelling. So you have to be very structured. You have to cascade the story down. So for example, you're starting a new campaign and you're trying to expand your business. What are you saying? What have you been saying before? What are you saying now? How structured is your storytelling? So because a lot of people just post, you come today, I want to post, yesterday I want to post, I want to post, but there's no structure. Okay, today we post on Instagram, tomorrow we are posting on this day, because these people have to endorse you. So you have to understand, another thing, what platform is your business acceptable in? For example, you're a beautician, you're not on TikTok, are you joking? I'm building personal brand, I'm not on LinkedIn. I'm joking, honestly. So you have to understand, first of all, where are your target audience? Where do they exist? So you are not just spending money. And I say this, a lot of founders should go and learn marketing. Because somebody can just come and be bamboozling you and be telling you spend money on ads, spend money, and you don't have an idea of what you are spending money on. If you and again, why founders need to learn marketing? Because I've worked in a lot of companies where you'll be telling them we need to invest so and so. So they'll tell you, no, I don't have money for that. I don't have money for that. And so they skip a lot of the processes and you're pumping money into all the wrong things. I'm not saying, I mean, it's a risk.
Yeah.
But people need to know who you are. It's not about what you sell anymore. The society has changed. It's no longer about what you sell. Apple. The reason why people use Apple is because they've sold us a fantasy that Apple is the best. And they've consistently told that story in different ways. Now they have their Apple TV. They're bringing on board people like Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon has built a brand around women. She was one of the first entertainers who noticed that women are being shortchanged in the entertainment industry, and she built a brand around that voice. Every time Reese Witherspoon is going to sell anything, she's selling women empowerment. Ife Duro Simieti, her economy. The reason why we know Ife today is because Ife is selling women. women empowerment, dang. They stand for something. And if you look at their brand, they didn't just start one day.
Yeah.
Mo did an interview recently. She said, as much as you see all of the victories, there are a lot of losses.
Yeah.
There are lots of projects that they have not started. But if you do it right, it will pay off.
Now, let's look at brands that are built around the founders.
Yeah.
Like you said, there should be a face, the founder should be known and all that. Are there no risk at any point that, okay, like the examples you cited now, what if something, we're not praying for anything negative to happen, but what if anything happens to the founder and the brand is built around the founder? What happens at that point?
Very good question. I mean, we've seen it so many times happen where, a founder-led brand, something happens but one thing to balance it is people. As a founder, as a person, one of the things I've always pushed is people. Team. I've never been one person to work alone. I never work alone. So even if anything happens...
Are you a Liverpool fan?
Because one thing founders don't think about is generational wealth. Transference of wealth. So even if although the name is Keren Uzo brand, anybody can be behind Keren Uzo brand tomorrow. Moabudu has built generational wealth. Ebony life can exist without her. And that's something a lot of people don't put. So even though it is built around you, you should be able to build your team. You should be able to build people around you that can make that brand stand. That's why people do board of directors.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you see the chairman can step down and business. Look at this Access Bank CEO that died. Business as usual. So people, it's very important. That there was something that happened in my former company, one of the companies I worked at. My boss, he was the head of marketing at that time. I had just resumed and he wasn't around. That day, we were crippled. Nobody could do anything because we had no idea what was going on. And I told myself, I said, never. So I've built myself to the point where when people start working with me, I want you to be independent.
Yeah, that is another angle to it. Now, some founders find it difficult to let go. You bring in people, you bring in a team, and you said, okay, this is the direction, this is where we're going. But they find it difficult to say, okay, let them fly.
Yeah.
You are always coming back, always coming.
Micromanaging.
Yeah, good. So most times, workers find it tiring. Look at it as, this is energy drain. How can a staff who is working with that kind of a founder be able to scale up? I mean, how can they even grow? Because right now, the founder is always influencing the decision of the team.
Yeah.
So, what would they do?
It's very difficult to scale up in such an environment.
Okay.
When I found myself in environments like that, one of the things I did was focus on myself. Because you can't change somebody who has been doing this for 20 years. Because if you look at those founders, if you go into that kind of system, ask your colleagues, people who have been there 10 years, 20 years, you see that it's the same thing. Are you the one that wants to change it? So the best thing you can do for yourself is to focus on yourself. Just focus on growing as a brand. Focus on growing as a person. Because the thing about people like that is that they tend to stifle your growth. Because especially when you are emotionally attached to such a person, there's a lot of projects that will die.
Okay.
There are lots of projects that you guys will start that you will not do. So the best thing you can do for yourself as an employee is to focus on yourself. Take courses. Build yourself and emotionally detach and leave.
Right now, someone will be saying, Keren Uzo, you are giving the wrong advice. Because it will look as if you just come in to do the job, you just come in to sign the attendance register and get paid at the end of the month. Because if you're detaching yourself.
No, I'm not saying don't do the job. Obviously, do the job. Keep trying. But I know I've worked with people like that.
Okay.
So, do the job. Be good at what you do. Keep trying. Keep records. Keep tracks. Do you get what I mean? Understand who you're working with. So me, for example, there was a time when I told you I started with social media management. And I joined this company and we needed a company phone, right? And this woman was like, no, I cannot buy a company phone. I started using my Samsung phone to create content. When she saw how good the content was, she went abroad and she came back, she bought a new phone. And everybody was like, you're the first person this woman has ever considered buying a phone for. Why? Because I understood why she was like that. I knew that she was new to the social media space.
Yeah.
I knew that she didn't really know. So I was able to follow her from her level. Do you get what I mean? So I'm all about understanding a founder, following them from their level. You know that, okay, if you call 1 million naira, your boss will not agree. But if you say 100K, he can agree. So you show him that, okay, well, with 100K, this is what you can achieve. But on this side, still be working on yourself and building your brand. Because at the end of the day, how much can you take with such a person? They will stifle your growth. There's a level of, okay, you can micromanage it to a point, and then after a while, you leave. It's that simple. I'm not even people that worked for me last year. I got one of them a job because I want her to grow. I engineered because I know, okay, I've trained you to a point. I can't pay you anymore. I want you to grow. And because somebody did that for me, my mentor, TDA, I spent 6 months with TDA, and he says, Keren, I can't pay you anymore, and I want you to grow. What are you doing?
Wow.
He started giving me books to read. He started encouraging me, get a new job. I can't pay you anymore. Till today, 5 years after, I owe my growth to that man. I can go back to him anytime and say, boss, I'm suffering, and he will help me. So it's for founders as well. When people come into your company, ensure that it's still the value thing too. When I'm doing any interview, anybody that wants to come and work with me, I'm asking you, so what are your plans for your life? Because I want to be sure that your plans for your life are in alignment with my plans for my business. Because some people just want to earn money. I'm not looking for people who want to earn money. I'm looking for people who are going to be ambassadors of the brand even after they go. People have left my brand and still come to me and say, Keren, I wouldn't have done this without you. So it's very, like I said, you're not building a product. If founders can move from that, you are not building a product. You are building a legacy. Even if you are selling bags, you are selling shoes, you are building a legacy. You have to care about the people that work with you. That's how your brand will outlive you.
Okay, yes. While going through this topic, something came up that, yes, as much as we're talking about brand building, founder-led brands and all that, consistency is another side of it. And that is something that founder-led brands, some of them actually, that's one thing they're lacking. Consistency. What is the importance of consistency when it comes to founder-led brands?
See, another thing that founder-led brands suffer is that they want to do everything at the same time. That's why they're unable to be consistent. So you have, I've worked in a lot of companies, and you see them, they want to do these products. They want to do that product. They want to do this campaign. They want to do... So at the end of the day, you do things and then they die down. So that's one of the things that affects consistency. Because you want to do everything at the same time. So you cannot focus on one thing. But if you can... That's why in marketing, we have campaigns. And you say, okay, this campaign is going to last for 3 months. After 3 months, we're going to come back to the room and say, okay, what have we earned? What have we learned? What have we gained? And then we can now repurpose that campaign and do it for 6 months. Structure. Do you get what I mean? So one of the things that have affected founder-led brand, why they are unable to be consistent, is because they want to do so many things at the same time. And I know it comes with anxiety. You want to make money. You want to make money instantly. So you need to understand your goals. For me as a business, I know what is giving me money instantly. I know what is going to give me money in the next 5 years. I know what's going to give me, I know what's going to build my brand that will now bring, like now I'm here. I know what this is going to do for my platform over time. Not now, but over time. I know the things I'm invested in that's giving me money on a monthly basis, that's keeping the lights on. I know the things that I'm investing in that's going to give me money in the next 5 years. So it's important that as a founder-led brand, you understand that you're not just moving with the crowd.
Now, wait, consistency again.
Yes.
How many years or how long should you do something consistently before you consider that thing a failure, or maybe this thing is not working, or this is the right way to go? How long should you be?
I don't think there's a timestamp. I think you will know when you've done it for a while. Just do it. Just create structures around it to help you to be consistent. Do you get what I mean? Create structures. Structures help you to be consistent. If you know, okay, on Monday, this is what I do. On Friday, this is what I do. After doing it for a while, you already know. Like for me, for example, I started my career as a fashion designer.
Which means you are more like an octopus You've you've done a whole
I've
lot.
done a lot of things. I started my career as a fashion designer,
Okay.
but I've still always been into branding. That's how I was able to build my brand. After 5 years, I did costume, I did set. After 5 years, I said, you know what? This isn't paying me anymore. It's time to move. After 5 years, it's time to move. But guess what? I always say this, you don't start again without experience. You start again with experience. So when I decided to move fully into marketing, the experience I had gained from marketing my business, my brand, was what I used to evolve. So there's no timeline. You know, if you're somebody, and you need to educate yourself as a founder. So for you to be consistent, build structures. I've said that. For you to be consistent, build structures. I have structures around my business.
Yeah.
So that's what will help you to be consistent. Build structures. You can track your structures, track your timelines and everything. And then research. Every year, I always take a course. There is no year.
Yeah.
Every year, I've always taken it. I have 2 diplomacy in Oxford. I have my chartered marketing. Last year, I did film school. Every year, this year, I'm still going to do another course.
Yeah.
So you have to keep learning. If you're learning, you're growing. There's no way you will not know that your business is not evolving.
Yeah.
If you're learning, if you're putting all of those, because the thing about founders is that they spend money on a lot of things except themselves. And that was the mistake I made in the first 5 years of my career. I was spending money on my business, but I wasn't growing as a person.
Yeah.
If you do not grow as a person, your business will not grow. Because your business is a direct reflection of who you are.
Exactly.
So if you're not growing as a person, your business will not grow. Your business will be stagnant. So as much as you're making money, you're putting it back into your business, make sure that you are growing as a person.
Make sure you're growing as a person. Now, women founders. You know, that being a woman and being a business person, it could be tedious because you have to manage so many things. You're gonna manage your business, you manage family. If you're married, you know what that means. That's another angle. You have to manage that. You have to manage finances. So managing home, managing life, managing and still staying beautiful with the smiles on our faces. You know, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the challenges, or would you say that the challenges that the male founders are facing, would you say they are same with the women? Because you are a woman now.
I wouldn't say they're same, but I wouldn't say they're different. There are some basic things like, trying to get funds, trying to, do you get? There's a lot of stigma around women. If you work in big organizations, when a female CEO takes over, and if a female CEO should shout at a man, they'll say, I have wife at home. She's too emotional. But if a man should do the exact same thing, nobody's going to call him emotional. They'll just say that man is wicked, or is a narcissist, or is it this. But when a woman loses her shit, they'll say she's too emotional. She's too this. So there's already a stigma around women. So there's already people already judge you before they judge you because you are a woman. Do you get what I mean? Men already feel cringe. I remember when I got promoted at my job, and at that time I was the only woman in the team. I don't know what it is. Maybe God was training me throughout my 5 years in corporate. I've always been the only woman in my team. And guess what? Now that I've built my business, all the people surrounding me are men because I've learned to manage them. I've learned to manage. You have to learn to manage your ego, because if you talk too much, you'll say it's because you're a woman you're talking. Because you're a man. So I've learned to balance my femininity and being stern. So you know that I mean business when I tell you to do so.
Yeah.
But I also know how to pamper your ego a bit. So there's a lot of watching your back that you have to do as a woman.
As a woman.
That men don't necessarily have to do. A man can just talk to you and say, my friend, do you get out of here? Let me say it as a woman. They'll say, do you know how many men how many children I'm giving birth to? How many this? I was having a conversation with someone the other day where it was a business meeting, and I was saying how sometimes you might be in a business meeting in your working space, and you will say an idea and everybody will just ignore. Let a man repeat that exact same idea. You say, oh, yes. And then this woman said, what are you even talking about? When I'm going out with my husband, as I am looking like this, they will greet my husband. They will not greet me. Or they'll just say, madam, and they will move on. It's there. It's still existent. But what I have learned to do is never to look at it. I don't acknowledge it. I don't acknowledge the fact that I'm a woman, henceforth you should treat me differently. I do not acknowledge it. I'm here for business. I mean business. You will listen to me because I know my onions, and I will speak up when I need to speak up. So that's what I always advise people to do. If you know yourself as a person, that's why you must do research. You must know what you're doing. I'm never going into a room where I don't know what I'm talking about. Or if I find myself in a room where I don't know what is happening, I will say something. I remember I went for a script reading recently, and they were having a conversation about, the script and the story, and I had so much to say. And my friend was like, you were showing up. I said, no, I wasn't. Look, that producer will never forget me. The director will never forget me because I spoke up. That's what women should do. Number one, don't acknowledge the fact that there is a difference. I don't acknowledge it. I don't see it anywhere. I walk into a room, I'm equal to a man that is bidding for business. We're bidding for the business together.
Yeah.
I never acknowledge it. I never allow anybody box me into a space because you're a woman. I don't care about that. We are all the same. We are all equals. And I always said, I would advocate for, I always say is that when I get married, my husband will cook. People laugh at me and say, it's the truth. Because I that's how I'm built. That's how and that's how I like it when men are feminists. I like it when men are the one pushing for all of these things. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. I know obviously there's a space for he's a man. I'm not trying to fight your space for being a man. Of course, I want you to be a man. But what I'm saying is that when we are in business, we are
business
equals.
is business.
Business is business. How I would treat a man is the same way I would treat a woman. I'm not giving anybody preferential treatment.
Okay, so where do you think women need to learn it from now? When should they pick the idea that when it comes to business, I have to be on my toes. I have to bid for that same business. At what point should they start learning? Because I know that cultural factors are also contributing to why most women are holding back. So most of the time they feel, I cannot walk into that boardroom and bid for that business because there are men, or rather, most of them are men. So at what point should we start teaching our girls? Should we start teaching other women right now that this is business? You need money as much as the man needs money. Exactly. At what point should we build that confidence?
I think from when you're small, from when you're in school, safe. from secondary school, everybody should start, build. But as a woman, I think that from the first day you enter into, once you start doing your business or you're in a workspace, if you're currently working as a receptionist, don't see the problem with women is that women have victim mentality. Okay. So many women just feel, oh, I'm a woman, that's why you did it to me. Just dead it. Just be, okay, it's business. Of course, there are times when they would ignore you. But what I have learned over time is to use my femininity to my advantage. I don't try to, I'm not fighting the system. I'm not here to fight the system. I'm just here to survive as a woman. So don't try to fight the system.
Yeah.
But be vocal. And don't insult anyone. Don't be disrespectful. Respect authority. That's a lot of mistake. That's why they, when they want to talk about feminists, there's a lot of bad PR around them.
Yeah.
Because they tend to be very disrespectful.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the system. Respect the system.
Okay, how would you describe a founder-led business or a founder-led business that has won? A winning founder-led business. Yes. Wow. How would you describe a winning founder-led business?
So should I use an example or just basically, generally?
How would you describe it?
Okay. A winning founder-led business is a business that, okay, I'll give you an example. There's this girl, Adefe, on Instagram or LinkedIn. She's very popular. Every day, every Eke market day, she's always coming up with a new product that she wants to sell. And guess what? Her product sells like 2 million, 3 million, 10 million because she has built a brand. Now, what Ife is doing now is that she's now detaching herself from the brand. So she has people working for her. The business is going. So a successful founder-led business is a business that when they call your name can move mountains. But your business can run without you. You can go out of the business for 3 months and the business will not. Exactly. That's a successful founder-led business. Your name can move mountains. It's your name. When you build a successful founder-led business, your name can move mountains. They can call your name in any room and they say, oh yeah, I know this person. But that business can also thrive without you micromanaging everything. You can go on a 3 months vacation and your business will be running on its own. Okay. So yes, that's a successful founder-led business.
Okay, so your final word for founders that are watching right now, or someone who wants to become a founder, your final word of whether advice, whether encouragement, whatever it is, your final word to that.
Number one, knowledge is power. You can't be going into a space and don't have knowledge about the space. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is your tool to win. You need knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Okay.
Yes. Number two, people. You need people. You cannot move in isolation. I've not seen anybody who has been successful in isolation. You need people. So hold your people. Have your people. Partnerships. Partnerships and collaborations are very, very important. You cannot. One of the reasons why I've been able to scale so fast is because I've been able to. I understand the power of partnerships and collaboration. Awareness. You need to spend money on marketing. Spend money on marketing. I'm saying this again. Spend money on marketing. You need to spend money on marketing. Then hold God tightly. Yeah. You cannot do without God. You cannot do without your instincts. I feel like God is connected to our instincts. Do you know what I mean? Because there has to be that superpower, that's clear direction on what you need to do. So even if it's Allah you believe in, whatever you believe in, have a belief system that guides you in the spiritual move. Because sometimes business is not physical. Yeah. You deal with certain people and you have to take it to God in prayer. So God is very important.
Yeah, thank you so much, Keren Uzo, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
From your name, we already know that you're from the eastern side of Nigeria. But which of the states exactly?
Ogwashi, Delta Igbo.
Oh, yes. Delta. Deltas, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to use your dialect.
No, I don't. No, I don't understand my dialect. Don't embarrass me on national TV. Please. I'm a Nigerian. I can speak in Pidgin. I can speak Yoruba.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's fine. Since you can speak Yoruba. Yes. So you're going to speak Yoruba to say hello to your fans and tell them to position themselves strategically and to keep watching Just Africa on Sweetness Television.
Let me use Pidgin so that it's clear.
No, Pidgin is actually not a dialect, but...
please, don't disgrace me on national TV. So, my people, how una dey? My name is Keren Uzo. I be personal branding coach. It's very, very important. Make una focus on una brand. Make una push una brand very well. And also, it's very, very important. Say make una the word Just Africa. Not just watch only this episode. They watch them because they bring new people. They teach you now strong, better things. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Keren.
I tried. Please don't bother me.
Thank you for coming on the show. And I hope I will call on you next time. You'll be available.
Oh, definitely. You guys have been kind to me, so I'll definitely honor you.
All right. Thank you so much. So brands don't win because they exist. They win because they are seen. They are heard, they are positioned with intention. Today's conversation reminds us that in a crowded marketplace, anonymity is expensive, visibility is leverage, and PR, when done strategically, is not noise, it is narrative control. Founder-led brands are not just building companies, they are building influence. They are shaping perception. They are becoming the message. To every founder listening, your face is not a liability. Your voice is not optional. Your story is not secondary. It is the strategy that you need. So thank you to the founder of the Keren Uzo brand for unpacking the power of visibility, PR, and strategic positioning with such clarity and depth. And to our audience, if this conversation resonated, don't just consume it, apply it. Show up, position yourself, tell your story intentionally. Because in this era, the brands that lead are the founders who dare to be seen. Until next time, thank you for watching Just Africa on Sweetness Television. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Sweetness TV and subscribe to the Just Africa Show. I am Umevi Idolo. Thank you for watching.